Oh, class, it definitely helps if I have my earphones on so that I can hear the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 beep. This is Dr. Taylor, and this presentation is on your personality profile. Your personality profile, I have put into this class because it's a leadership class, and I think it is very valuable in order to know and understand your own leadership. You have to know and understand your personality. You have to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to know and understand how to identify other strengths and weaknesses. Hopefully, by the end of this presentation, you will be able to realize in an office or on a team, if someone happens to be uh, a choleric or a melancholy, you'll be able to identify their strengths and their weaknesses, and you'll know who to go to if you need some help, some assistance. Who's good at conflict resolution? Who's good at getting a job done? Who's good at tasks and making sure that each detail, each I is dotted and each T is crossed. So hopefully by the end of this presentation, that will be something that you will understand and grasp. We're going to start out. I have me and some other of my colleagues across the years have all agreed that knowing yourself as a choleric or a melancholy is not near as much fun as saying I'm a lion or I'm a beaver, I'm an otter, and I'm a golden retriever. So I will have taken each one of these and renamed it into an animal. So if you happen to be a powerful chloric, then you will be known as a lion. If you were a phlegmatic, you were a golden retriever. If you were a powerful sanguine, then you were a beaver. If you were, if you were a sanguine, you were an otter. If you were a melancholy, you were a beaver. So the perfect cloric or the lion. The strengths that the lion possesses are their goal or task oriented. They see the big picture. They have practical solutions. They're decisive. They delegate work. Just think if the lion sends who to do the gathering of food? The lioness, right? So he sits back and he waits while he delegates the work to the female of the lions. He insists on productivity. If he doesn't, they don't eat, and thrives on opposition. So they are a born leader. So if you are a lion, you are a born leader. You're dynamic and active, compulsive, strong-willed and decisive, unemotional, quick-tempered, can run anything. That's why they're a born leader. Not easily discouraged, exudes confidence, has little need for friends, and will lead and organize anything you need. Now, just realize that they're blunt and they're going to get things done, but not always without treading on people's feelings. They don't tolerate the weaknesses they have is because it's important that you understand your strengths and your weaknesses. The weaknesses, they don't tolerate mistakes. It doesn't analyze details. They're rash for decisions. They may be rude or tactless. They manipulate others. Work may become his god. Demands loyalty and do it now. They tend to be bossy and impatient, quick-tempered, tends to use people, come on too strong, inflexible, decides for others. They know everything. They may be right, but they're unpopular at times with that, and they can't say, I'm sorry. So if you're a lion in or if you are working with someone who is a lion and they hurt your feelings or they're bossy or impatient, you understand that it's their personality. Now, can we have this as our personality and choose not to be some of these things? Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole idea of knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, is so that you can become better at it. Um, and once you can identify it, then you can change. So that's definitely the point. Now, the perfect melancholy, the beaver. If you think about the beaver has a place up that they have built 2,000, almost 2,800 feet. It is the largest beaver dam anywhere in the world, and it can even be seen by space. It is in Alberta, Canada, and it's built by two families of beavers. That's all, just two families of beavers. So you can just imagine this beaver dam, how precise and how detail oriented it has to be in order to still be there and to be built that long. So, what are the strengths of your melancholy or your beaver? Scheduled lists, like list oriented. They're creative in solutions. They're perfectionist to detail. Order and organization is something they have to have. They can see a problem. They're persistent and thorough. Finish what they start. They're deep and thoughtful. They're analytical. They're serious and purposeful, talented and creative. They make friends cautiously, content in the background. They're appreciative of beauty, self sacrificing, conscientious, avoids attention, and they're neat and tidy. So if you would go to someone who is a beaver and you ask to borrow a stapler or you need staples, they're going to know exactly where they've put them. If you come in and you ask them for a paper, they are going to go directly to their file cabinet, know exactly where it is, pick it out, and hand it to you. When you return it, you should return it to the exact spot that you borrowed it. Because if you don't, they're going to know that it wasn't returned to the exact spot in which they borrowed. So if you need something done, if you need something with details, an Excel spreadsheet, etc., these are the people who will help you get it done. If you need something organized that requires details, like an event, these would be great for an event coordinator because they're going to have everything down and all details covered. So that is the strengths of your beaver. Now, the weaknesses, they're not people oriented. They can get depressed over imperfections. They choose too difficult of work, hesitate to start projects. They're hard to please. Standards are often too high, and they want you to do it right. They remember the negative. They can be moody and depressed, too introspective, low self image, insecure socially, withdrawn and remote, critical to others, unforgiving, self centered. They can spend too much time planning, which, if an event has to get off the ground, they need someone else who can help them move it forward so that they don't get caught up in too much time planning. So just remember, if you're heading to a beaver, the beaver is one who can plan an event, get things scheduled, have people there on time, but may need someone else's personality to help them get over the hump of too much planning or potentially too much detail or stepping on someone's toes. Okay, so kind of in a way, kind of like a lion in that one. All right, now you have the popular sanguine, the otter. The strengths of your otter. Think about your otter. Swims around, plays with his oyster on his lap, enjoys playing with his oyster um, well before he ever eats it. Okay, so these guys are volunteers for jobs, they're creative thinkers, practical solutions, they have high energy and enthusiasm, they start in a flashy way, they inspire others to join, they charm others to work. So see where your melancholy is the one that needs some assistance. This is the person that can come in with the flashy start. This inspires others people to join and to work. They have an appealing personality. They're talkative. They're great storytellers. Humorous, curious, lives in the present, makes friends easy, likes to be spontaneous, can think up new activities, sincere at the heart, always a child, and envied by others. Now, that's the strength of your otter. Your weaknesses can sometimes be the same as your strengths. Rather talk than work, forgets obligations, lacks follows through, confidence fades, undisciplined, decides by feelings, easily distracted, and let's all do it together. Whereas your beaver was, let's get it done. So was your lion, let's do it right, let's get it done. This one's let's do it all together. They exaggerate and elaborate, can't remember names, scares off others, too happy sometimes, hates to be alone, needs to be at center stage, wants to be popular, naive and can get taken, has a loud voice and laugh, controlled by circumstances. Okay, so now we've had your lion who is your born leader. We have your beaver who organizes and methodical. We have your otter who loves to play. Now we have your peaceful fanatic is your golden retriever. And if you can think of the characteristics of a golden retriever, they're pretty much exactly what you would think. So the strengths, they're confident and steady, peaceful and agreeable. They mediate conflict, so they're great in having conflict resolution or a mediator. Finds the easy way, good under pressure, likes routines, and they're great with administrative ability. Okay, because they can mediate the conflict. They're competent and steady. They're But some of their strengths are always going to be some of their weaknesses. So just remember that. They have a low key personality. They're easygoing and relaxed, calm, cool, and collected. Makes friends easy. Avoids conflict. A good listener. Has compassion and concern. Dry sense of humor. Patient and well balanced. They keep emotions hidden, and they're the all purpose person. So if you need someone who can listen to you and help you um, mitigate a problem or just listen in general, those are the perfect people to go to. Okay, now, the weakness of your golden retriever, they're not goal oriented, they lack self motivation, they're resistant to change, resist being pushed, can seem lazy and careless, discourages others, avoids responsibility. I'll just watch you do it. Unenthusiastic, fearful and worried, indecisive, selfish, too shy and compromising, self righteous, would rather watch, stays uninvolved, is not exciting, judges others. So you can see that some of the very key things that are people's strength that make them good, like for instance, in the golden retriever, a great support person, but it was also great in positions of authority. Their strengths are what makes them that way. Their weaknesses are what they have to work on in order to be good at the job that they're doing. The creative person, the otter, has to be careful that they don't start in a flashy way but don't ever finish the job. The detailed person, the beaver, has to be careful that they don't get caught up in details and never get the job started. Um, Whereas the leadership person, the lion, has to be careful that they don't step on everyone's toes while they're in the leadership position. So um, knowing and understanding your strengths are as important as knowing and understanding your weaknesses. If you need someone, if you're a coach or a teacher and you need someone to help you with something, if you can identify their strengths and understand their weaknesses, you can go to them for help and they can help you achieve whatever task it is that you're working on. If you will see on this last final slide that the sanguine and the choleric, the peaceful, phlegmatic, and the melancholy, uh, the golden retriever and the beaver are very analytical folks, whereas your otter and your choleric are more of your outgoing, optimistic, and outspoken. So, but what I'm sure all of you found is that you had one or two top leadership or top personality styles. So you might have been 12 caloric and maybe a 10 uh, golden retriever. So you shared, in which that's what we want the most of, is we want to have the ability to um, lead, but have some of the offsetting characteristics that help us not step on everyone's toes or be unemotional or not tied in with people. So this is just to show you that you share different characteristic traits. And in the same boat, you share the strengths and you share the weaknesses. All right. I hope this helped you learn about your personality, because to me, understanding your personality is understanding your leadership style. Thanks you guys for listening, and I hope this helped a lot.